we back right here, morning mental. Apparently, the ghetto ducks are having a family issue this morning, and so my presence was not welcome. Looks like they've got some kids that have snuck over who are not members of the regular ghetto duck family. So there appears to be some confusion out by the lake. I was going to go down by the lake this morning, but from what I could figure out when I got there, it was the mama duck was out there. She had about 8 ducks with her, which is the ducks I always see her with. You know, they was rolling up, and I think it was the papa duck that came by to visit. They was talking. I came out. Nobody was paying me no mind. And while he was sitting there talking to her, I think it was an extra duck or something. I'm not sure it was an extra duck. And I was trying to stay out their business, but it looks like another duck showed up and jumped and got on the duck, the daddy duck, and was like, you wrong. His name was Eduardo or something. You wrong for this. And he was trying to explain that no, that other duck wasn't his. That he was just stopping by because he was all for the kids. And they all start flapping their wings and making all this damn noise. And I was like, well, what about them kids? And, the other ducks are just standing there looking at the other duck like, bruh, who is you? And eventually, it was just a bad scene. I left. I didn't want to be in the middle of no ghetto duck drama early this morning. And, they do something like throw me in the water. So we going to bring it on back up here to the bedroom, grown folk business. And I didn't want y'all to, it was a really bad scene. See, there's a lesson. There's a teachable moment. I'm trying to tell you. I tried to break it up. And the first thing all the ducks stopped and looked at me and said, first of all, you're not even family. You're not a duck. You have no say-so in this. You didn't even come from an egg. Nobody sat on you. You didn't have to worry about squirrels. They let me have it. They would say, you got, I said, but I support y'all. I'm an ally. I'm down with the duck cause. All ducks matter. They didn't want to hear that shit. They told me to take my side, they called me a culture vulture. They called me and said, you be out here with that fake bread and feeding us fake. They let me have it. What's the point of the story? The point of the story was I realized that until the ducks learned to love each other, there was no way they was going to show me any love. Ghetto duck drama. Teachable moment. Let me address some things real quick this morning on the morning mental. Big shout out to the NFAC. Looking good, standing tall. There have been a lot of things said in the last few weeks. My God, it's been so much that a lot of people don't even realize how fast we're moving. A lot of you all don't even understand that because of technology, they have accelerated your attention span to the point where things happen almost every day, and we just move along with it. Like one incident will have us like, oh, I can't believe that happened. Then the next day, something else will happen. But, oh, I can't believe that happened. And we forgot the last thing that happened. By a week later, we're like, oh, I can't believe that happened. And 344 other things we don't let slide by, when there used to be a time when any one of those incidents would have been enough to make us just stop and pause and pray and be on one accord with one another for a whole week or whatever. Grand rising to all of you all on my morning mental. But now things happen so rapidly that you move at such a pace now. The white boy, mama took him up there and he shot and killed some people. We was all, oh my God, I can't believe that. But then the next day, you see, we got another incident. It's like one thing after another thing after another thing after another. And y'all don't understand that all of these incidents are making you numb. They're putting you in a position where you don't stop and analyze critically what is happening or what you're seeing. I see you. You don't do that. So then when somebody tries to tell you, wait, what are you talking about? Thought I was moving along at a rapid pace. You don't want to be. So I'm going to slow you down a little bit right here. This weekend, A lot of people found out that you have been functioning under false pretenses and false information. I keep telling y'all, this is not a committee. This is not a democracy. This is not a social club. This is not a sorority. This is not a fraternity. This is not an operation. This is none of those things. When are you all going to admit that people, just like yourself, are capable of getting organized and putting their minds on something and just doing it? Period. No help, no outside influence, no ulterior motive, nobody. Y'all always want to give somebody else with being smarter than you. You just cannot believe that you came up with this. You cannot believe that you put this together. You are so down on your own people or down on your own self that you cannot perceive the fact that you conceived and created a resistance to the things that were happening to you, especially when it wasn't created by you, but it benefits you. You're so paranoid, so chicken shit, so much of a coward that you cannot believe that this is true. I know you don't want to hear this from me. Why not? I'm talking about you. Because when I'm talking about you, I'm also talking about me. You see, a lot of people think that, well, I don't know him. I can't be behind somebody I don't know, but you vote for people you don't know every year. I just can't be blindly trusting somebody I can't do that. You know, that they lied about this. You follow people who lie to you every day. You can give them your money. I can't be getting in bed with somebody. I didn't see how they did this. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Then keep your ass out of drive-thrus because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. That's a 100% trust system. Don't you know that if there was a restaurant that was hell-bent on killing black people only, that all they had to do was wait for black people to pull up in the drive-thru and put a little something in your food and your dumb ass go out here. You don't know that you didn't see the hands that fixed it. You don't even know the people. You don't know their criminal background. You don't know their social background, but your ass is hungry. So you'll notice what I'm saying. I'm making an example. When you're hungry, you will take the food from anybody. If you're hungry and you're starving and somebody walk up to you with even though you swear you a vegan, even though you swear up and down that you drinking alkaline water with the fruit and this, and you cleanse yourself and you detox and you taking monatomic gold and you doing all these things so you can say you're better than your brother, man. But if your ass is out there starving in the Mojave Desert for almost 2 days and somebody come along with a quarter pounder with cheese, some fries, and a cold drink, you're going to be sitting there thinking to yourself, you're not going to ask them, well, where did you go to school? And who was you married to? And who did you vote for? Did you ever tell a lie? Did you ever not speak correctly? Did you ever go somewhere you wasn't? You're not going to ask them none of that shit. You're going to grab that shit and you're going to satisfy your hunger. Our problem is, as a race, y'all act like y'all not hungry no more. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what you're doing. This is going to really mess y'all up. But I don't care. This is the morning mental. You don't like it, go somewhere else. Let somebody know we on the air right now because there's not that many people that need to hear this. When there's nothing else left to eat, you will eat each other. When you're under the impression that there's no more food that's available, you will eat each other. If you don't believe me, let our infrastructure collapse. No more food in the supermarkets. No more nothing. Everything's gone. But we're still here. Yeah, we're going to try to be civilized for a little bit. You know, we're going to try to come up with something. But eventually, we will eat each other. And as black people, we have been starving for so long for the right food so that we can advance ourselves. Some of us have stopped looking for the food. Some of us even reject the food because we're comfortable eating off of and eating each other. It's almost like The Walking Dead on the racial tip. They did a study that came out yesterday. I don't know if y'all heard about this. And I thought it was interesting because some people say y'all don't believe nothing until the white man said it. Okay, here's the headline in case y'all haven't heard about this. National Geographic, and they don't get no whiter than that. The National Geographic's a foundation. You know, National Geographic to go out and tell you how the world was, make it fit their definition. Well, one thing about National Geographic is when they're pushed into a corner, they have no choice but to admit the truth. National Geographic had to admit yesterday that they did an entomological study and they found out that yes, it is true. Genetically, they cannot trace white people back past 5,600 years ago. They did not exist. I'm sorry, white folks. I know you want to claim this world, and I know you want everyone to think you're superior and you're the smartest this and woo 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 woo. Sorry. Your own science and your own people just proves you wrong again. 7,000 years ago, you didn't exist. 8,000 years ago, you didn't exist. 10,000 years ago, you didn't exist. 50,000 years ago, you didn't exist. 500 million years ago, you did not exist. So where did you come from? Maybe you should go read the report because you don't want to hear it from the black man. That's all I'm going to say. But one thing they did find out, and you should read this report because this gets deep. It gets real deep. And it's interesting because you don't want to hear it from us. You go and hear it from them. Why is this story relevant? Because a certain individual tried to teach this to the world and they called him a racist. We're talking about Elijah Muhammad. Tried to teach this. And I am simply bringing you information. I am not opening a door for a debate. You want to debate somebody, call the National Geographic Association and find out why they're suddenly lining up with what this man said. Because science has proven that no matter where you dig down in the earth, you run into us. You don't run into you. You don't run into old bones of old white people marching across Egypt talking about, oh, that's not what they're finding. They're finding us. So when y'all hear me say, make some ancestral noise, I'm not talking about your ancestors that were slaves in America. I'm not talking about your ancestors that went around and cooperated and integrated with all these other races so that they could spread around the earth. I'm talking about your ancestors who inhabited this planet cohesively as one and reached levels and heights that to this day have never been achieved again, but have been written about by some of the very first white explorers who marveled at the things they saw, marveled at the treasures they saw, marveled at the monuments they saw, marveled at the civilizations they saw, marveled. And from that day forward, were envious and jealous and wanted to possess it for themselves. And since that day, that's all they've been trying to do. And now that we're coming down to the end of the clock, what about them kids? Yeah, what about them kids? Because the truth is the truth is the truth. And even they're beginning to realize we can't keep living a lie because the kids are figuring it out. What about them kids? Them kids are going to be watching September the 5th at Louisville, Kentucky. All eyes on Bree, September the 5th. NFAC, let me go ahead and clarify something that I don't mind clarifying publicly. If there's anybody on my live who thinks I'm stupid, you're stupid. I'm highly intelligent. And I'm also not made of concrete. I change, which means if I try something one way and it doesn't work, I'll go in a completely different direction. You're a goddamn fool if you think that we're going to conduct the next formation like I did the last one. You're out of your ever-loving goddamn mind if you think that I'm going to let people that I haven't vetted myself come anywhere near my organization. You are sadly mistaken if you think your ego is going to be fed on the backs of this organization. That is why you knew nothing about what happened this weekend. That was a blow to your ego. If you support what you saw, then you're okay. But if you're sitting there bent out of shape because you didn't get a phone call or an email or you felt you should have been looped in, see, that's your ego. You're not ready to be a soldier in Yah's army. You're looking for some way to make yourself feel good. Sorry, this is not the feel good department. This is the who's ready to sacrifice themselves for the greater good of our people to get us to a place where we can look back and say, we was almost out of here, but thank God we got ourselves together, pulled ourselves up by our own bootstraps, picked up and armed ourselves, defended our own people, started our own systems of finance, education, wealth, and politics, and now we're here today. If you about that right there, if you about that life, then you need to be on board with us. But if you're not about that life, there's plenty of other places you can be. It's other organizations. I even gave y'all a chance to start your own. I still ain't seen nothing. I'm pretty sure somebody gonna come out with something soon. There's a lot of opportunity out here right now. There's plenty shootings going on in a lot of places that are rioting right now that your mouth is probably could be used. You can pick up a gun and go over there and do your thing. But in the meantime, NFAC will be in Louisville. And somebody, let's just show you how small-minded some people are. Ooh, it burns me up. I forgot that when I was in school, everybody wasn't that smart. Everybody wasn't as quick as the last people. Some people, y'all remember, see, I don't know if y'all still do this in school because I don't go hanging around school looking at children. But when I was in school, do y'all remember when they used to ask people to read and they will go around the room? Y'all remember that? And you got to that one kid that was struggling to learn to read and everybody was trying to help him, but it was painful. It was painful. You know, we'd be going from you next and then you read, then we get to this guy and it was painful. I want to know what happened to those people. I know what happened to them. I run into a lot of them now. Not that bright, not that sharp, not going to do too much mental weightlifting, but easily programmed. Somebody can put something in their head and they run off. Then there's nothing more comical to me than to watch a dummy repeat something that somebody else told them that was a dummy. A dummy told a dummy something, now the dummy says it to the smart person. You can look at them and be like, we're not even going to entertain them. I heard a sermon that the Honorable Louis Farrakhan did the other day that someone sent to me. And it was right on point. And I'm like, he's reading my mind because it was about why you don't respond to dumb people. You know, you don't respond because if you do, you close the door to ever saving them. You see, if my first response is you do something to me and then I want to kill you. Well, now what I've done is I've closed the door at ever reclaiming that person back to the tribe. Everybody has potential. Some of y'all require a little more work than others. That's fine. But everybody has some worth of some way, shape, form, or fashion. We throw nobody away. You throw yourself away. There's a difference. So when people who've done all this talking in the last 2 or 3 weeks, remember your words are recorded just like mine. Your statements are captured for all posterity, just like mine. And just like Moses, when he went up to the mountain to get the 10 Commandments and he came back down and he found out that the people had lost faith. They were following other individuals. They had made a golden calf. They were idol worshiping. They were doing all kind of stuff, just having a field day. Just said, the hell with Yah, the hell with this whole mission. You know, we out of slavery, but we're gonna do our own thing now. That dude crazy. He don't know what he, in this particular instance, since we talked about today, gotta throw that in there too. They'll say, that dude crazy. He's an agent. He socializes with the enemy. They'll say, oh, that's what they did. And then Moses came back down the mountain with the word, and all of a sudden, you had people who suddenly realized what they had done. And all of a sudden, they want to try to creep back. I give fair warning to anybody who crossed the line and thinks that we're stupid enough not to have seen what you did. Don't you bring your ass nowhere near my formation, or you will find out what friendly fire truly is. You made your choice. Now stay with it, because we're on a mission a lot bigger than anything you've ever seen. Has nothing to do with the petty differences here in the United States. Has nothing to do with the ongoing inferiority elimination campaign of the Caucasians against ex-slaves. Has nothing to do with trying to stop you from making money off your own people because you're a cannibal. It has nothing to do with that. It has a last stand for our children. A last stand for the dignity of us as a race. A last stand for justice that satisfies us, for people like Breonna Taylor, for people like George Floyd, for people like Ahmaud Arbery. It's a last stand, y'all. So here's how it's going to play out. If you don't have your NFAC shirt by now, I advise you to jump onto the link that's in the profile bio for this particular account and go ahead and order you one. And come out there and support us, and represent us. I want to see a whole crowd. I already know all of Louisville's coming out, the whole city coming out. They already told us the whole city coming out for this one. If you want to be a part of history, grab your shirt and be out there too. If you are a member of the NFAC, information is being communicated not here publicly. It is being communicated through your chapter commanders down to you. There will be no public this time. If you don't receive an email with specific instructions, then you are to operate under our old mode. You know where to be. You just need to know where to be there. But some of you are getting specific instructions, the same way the team that went with me to DC got specific instructions. And if there's one thing that I'm learning is that if you don't know how to follow orders without question, if you don't know how to respect a chain of command, if you don't have the discipline to keep yourself focused on the same thing that everyone is focused on, the NFAC is not the place for you. Just because you want to join doesn't mean that you're qualified to join. If you are an individual who doesn't understand the concept of unity, this is not the place for you. If you want to go out and do your own thing, be my guest. But if you're not prepared to walk in unison with the nation, this is not the place for you. I'm making it very, very clear. This is not a democracy. There is no back and forth. This is no, I'm going to do it my way. This is none of that. You can go down the street and do that yourself. But for all of my dedicated members of the NFAC who will be in Louisville for the Kentucky Derby that I guess they're running just for us, we going to see the race. Ain't nobody else going to be there. We going to see the race. Y'all bring your bet money. I'm going to bring mine. Don't wear no big old hats though. We going to the Derby. Isn't it a shame that after 100 and some years, that when the brothers and sisters decide to come to the Derby, they don't want to let nobody in? I know y'all have heard the report that the ballistics report came back. Yeah, the ballistics report came back down to Daniel Cameron's office, who was the Attorney General, and that he now says that he's got some things to do. Hold on a second, y'all. Let me say something. Because a lot of y'all, like I said before, don't play chess. You play checkers. You jump at everything. You jump to conclusions. You jump out of windows. You jump on anything that you don't investigate. The man is still doing what I asked for. He's being transparent. Transparency, or lack thereof, is why we thought there was nothing going on behind the scenes. Now that y'all got that, y'all still want to complain. Well, yeah, we got this. And now you want to be a critic of everything that you didn't know in the first place. The report came back. And as I said before, I've already had the conversation with the Attorney General's office to find out, once you get that information back, then what you got to do. It's not like he gets it back and plugs it in and all of a sudden, here we go. Y'all really need to look at the fact that for 4 or 5 months, they didn't do shit. And now all of a sudden they breaking their ass to get something done. It still needs to be done. But is that enough to say that, oh, well, okay, well, you got it back. Well, then good, we're not coming. Nope, that's not what's going to happen here. If you are making plans to be in Louisville, September the 5th, and you're coming out to support the NFAC, we'll see you there. If you're a member of the NFAC, and here's how it's going to work. If you were sworn in at either one of the formations and you pass through the list, because we have a list of everybody. If you filled out one of those forms, we have your information. And everyone who's on those forms will receive an email before this week is out with some specific directions, or you'll be told not to come. So don't make the assumption, well, I didn't get an email. If you didn't get an email, you're good to go. If you get an email, it's either going to give you specific instructions that you just follow, or you're going to get an email that says, don't bring your ass nowhere near us, and you can forget about the NFAC. That's what's going on right now as we speak. So if you're coming, fine. If not, fine. If you get a rejection letter, you brought that on yourself. If you don't get anything at all, you proceed as you have before. I've made it plain and simple. I know a lot of people are now sending me, I want to join. It's too late for all of that. It's too late. Stop it. Stop it. This is not something that you just want to run out and be a part of because it seems cool. This is not that. I want to talk about that real quick. And for a lot of folks, please let them know. Y'all going to have to help people out. I can't keep saying the same thing over and over again. Help people out when they start to say these things. I never got an email. Tell them why. Tell them what it means if you didn't get one. Or they'll say, well, what are we supposed? Where are we supposed to be? Stop asking stupid ass questions out in there. Did you find out where we was going to be at the last time publicly? No, you didn't. What are we going to do when we get there? See, that's what I mean. You asking too many questions. You got to learn to follow instructions. And this seems to be the hardest thing for Black people to do. But we damn sure can put our energy into coming up with some negative, can't we? The children are watching us. The children are watching us. I'm on my morning mental right now. Thank you, y'all. Now, as you all know, we lost someone very, very great. Great actor. Chadwick Boseman is no longer with us. He was the Black Panther. Played the Black Panther. He played in quite a few roles. I think I enjoyed him most in the movie Salt. If you've never seen the movie Salt, I like the character he played in Salt. But we will forever remember him as the Black Panther. But a lot of people don't realize that there's something that we all should pay attention to. And it should not be lost in this moment. And yes, he was a great man. And yes, he was a great actor. But there is something deeper that you cannot miss. That the entire time this man was doing all of these things that we praise him for, he was sick, but he pushed on. The entire time that he was getting our adulation, he was sick. And even when it became apparent to us that he was losing weight, things like that, you caustic, evil people just went at him because you didn't know the truth. And this man still pushed on in spite of what you said about him, in spite of the rumors, in spite of the accusations. He still gave stellar performances in everything he did. It is written in the word that when you go through something, you're not supposed to look all shameful. You're supposed to keep a clean face. You're supposed to keep a pleasant countenance. You're supposed to smile in the face of adversity. Mr. Boseman did just that. But the lesson that we all should have learned is, unless you know the details yourself, keep your mouth shut and stop feeding into the rumor mill. Y'all did that to him. And now all y'all standing around looking stupid when the truth comes out that this man died of cancer. And you're going like, well, I didn't even know that. Exactly. There's a reason you didn't even know that, because it's none of your damn business. But y'all like to sit in judgment of people whose lives you have nothing to do with. You had nothing to do with bringing them into this world. You have nothing to do with them exiting this world. As a matter of fact, you're just blowing air through your lips. It means nothing. Your opinions have no power. Live with that. Rest in peace, Chad. Now, we'll shift gears real quick, because I had a great conversation last night with one of the legends, the icons of hip hop. Someone that I deeply respect. Someone that has had us all in the club just acting a fool. To take you back, had a talk with this hip hop icon last night, and we talked about something that I've talked about. And the hip hop icon asked me a question, and I told the icon, I said, well, you can go and read about this yourself, and I sent him the link. He could go and get up on it. And, we bonded in such a way on the knowledge tip that I'm pretty excited about what's going to come out the other side. That's all I'm going to say. But what we talked about was what I talked to you all about. By now, you've heard about this meteor that's supposed to be coming right before the day of the election day. It's supposed to be a meteor that they say has been coming since 2018. It's going to impact the atmosphere, as they're saying. There's some problems with what they're saying. And this is what the icon and I were talking about. But right after I hung up the phone with the icon, click, my box blows up, because there's another story that they didn't tell us. September the 1st, there is a rock the size of a skyscraper that is going to fly past the earth. And I didn't think anything about it at first. Then I looked at the goddamn calendar and I go, whoa. That's tomorrow. Why am I just hearing about this today? Well, let us be clear. They're saying that a lot of these rocks they can't see because they come from the direction of the sun. So I would assume that they just found out about this one a few days ago. So while we've been talking about this one that's coming, and notice all these things are coming now. There's been rocks just getting closer and closer. I need to ask you a question. How familiar are you with the concept of a bug out bag? How many of you know what an AB bag is? An AB bag are two bags you have packed at all times. One of those is an A bag, and you keep it with you in your vehicle at all times. If some shit pops off, there's enough stuff in your A bag to get you back to home base, even if you got to survive on foot for a few days. Your B bag is your bug out bag. That's the bag where it's time to get out of Dodge, get out of town, get out of the city, get out, period. That's the bag where you got enough stuff in it that you and your people on foot or on some type of a vehicle would be able to make it for at least 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks, a month if necessary. What's in the bag is your survival. AB bags should be packed. I got my AB bags. As a matter of fact, I think I should take a break and come back later on and show y'all what my bags look like. You should have one of those, because we're so preoccupied with what's going on here on the ground amongst each other that most of us are not paying attention to what's happening above our heads. And that's a rude awakening, because every time, if you study scripture, every time that the Creator has decided to check us, he checks us from the sky. Now we find out that tonight, sometime, I'll get the exact time and come back, that something the size of a skyscraper is going to fly right by us, or supposed to fly right by us. I don't know. But you have to ask yourself, where's all these big ass rocks coming from? And what is pushing them? Something is coming. Just thought I'd drop that on you. Yesterday, day before yesterday, We made history again. This time, the March on Washington, the NFAC, along with some of its coalition partners, showed out in the nation's capital. Because, as I explained to you, we are not a gang, we're not a mob, we are a militia with an organizational strategy, and we have a purpose and a goal. And one of those is being able to get things done. And you cannot do all of that at the barrel of a gun. Sometimes you have to have a conversation with people. Sometimes you have to be able to go to the table. Every warlord has a diplomat. Every organization that has someone who's a spokesperson that can go to the table to say, this is what we want, and we reach some type of a middle ground. Well, the NFAC has let the entire world know that, and please don't take things so literal, that we have picked up the baton that you all killed out of the hands of the great people of the Black Panther Party, the baton that you all killed Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all of the other greats, the baton that was left laying on the ground. We picked it up. So please don't be so literal. Because if any of you want this baton, simply ask for it, and we're more than happy to give it to you, because any one of you could have picked it up. But we made history, and it was a moment that all Black people should feel proud of. And as I've said before, if you're not proud of that moment, then why are you in this? Who are you really working for? Oh, I know a lot of y'all have been pat on the back and rubbed on the booty by the white people, so you don't know no different. You just sit around like, I feel so good over here. But your people are making moves. And if you don't want to make those moves, just wave your hand so we know who you are. But most of y'all are waving your tongues, and that's how we know who you are. I salute all of the coalition members around the globe, especially the ones who expressed a desire to be in Louisville. Didn't see that coming, did you? So while these white folks are out here trying to rustle up numbers again, and look, I wasn't going to say this. Look here, man. Y'all stop with the bullshit. I'm sorry, I got it. Can I go there for a minute? I don't mean to offend the children, but listen. This is the third time that something has happened and these white folks get on social media. We're calling all of the patriots out. We're rustling up the numbers. We're going to be there. Everybody, we got to put a stop to Black people standing up for themselves. Everybody, we've got to band together to stop Black people from practicing their constitutional rights. We've got to show up in force to stop Black people who ain't broke not one goddamn law yet. And every time they do it, you see what shows up? You mean that clown show that showed up out in Stone Mountain? Or you mean a hand that was falling all over themselves doing worse shit than us? Or you mean the little handful of people that showed up in Louisville talking about if we walk around the corner, we're going to get wiped out? Or you talking about, what I'm getting with y'all is listen. They talking about they trying to bring all their people out. I don't do this, but we're going to go ahead and flex on them one time because we can. I need all the Black folks to come out. I need all the Black folks. Just since they're not going to let nobody come to the Derby, no way, we may as well show up. You understand what I'm saying? All of the Black patriots, y'all need to show up. All of the supporters, y'all need to show up. Everybody who's sick and tired of being sick and tired, y'all need to show up. Everybody who just want to see it for themselves because they've never seen it before, y'all need to show up. You see what happens if we put out a call, we know our people will show up. But for some strange reason, I'm not sure why, because we love our own people, because we want to do something for our people, they instantly think that that means we're going to attack them. That's the last thing on our mind. We're not there to attack anybody. We're there to represent for Breonna. We're there to get justice for Breonna. We're there trying to protect the Black community. Do you all not know that they've already made mention that when they decide to tell y'all whatever it is that they want to tell y'all, that they might need some help protecting the black neighborhoods? Isn't that ironic that you want the black militia to help you protect the black neighborhoods from, not protect them, but to manage them was the word, in case they flip when they don't get the information that they think they're going to get? You want us to help you contain our own people when you... We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. You understand what I'm saying? But this Saturday in Louisville, if you can get there in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and I'm gonna watch to see how many people come out and try to scare you. I'm gonna see how many people come out and try to be just, slave niggas coming off the porch talking about, don't go out there, they're gonna get you killed. They said the same thing to people who say, you know what, I'm leaving this plantation tomorrow. I heard that Harriet Tubman got an underground railroad, and all we got to do is link with Maddie and them, and we out of here. No, they gonna chop your foot off. Oh, they gonna do this. Then you keep your scary ass here. I didn't come to prison to stay. I came to prison to try to find a way to escape. Most of y'all don't know this, but every soldier is told this. Your responsibility upon being captured by the enemy, it never fails, is to try to escape at all opportunities, And real quick, while I'm standing here, let me do something that a lot of people don't even understand. A big shout out to 82nd Airborne. A big shout out to 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiment. Big shout out to 21st TACOM. A big shout out to USA CASCOM Command. A big shout out to Special Operations Command. A big shout out to the Arctic Law Enforcement Command. A big shout out to all of these units that I'm calling out are units that I was a part of. Big shout out. I'm going down the road for a minute because for you all who don't understand what it means to serve and then wonder why you can't find out nothing, because you don't find out nothing about people like us who actually served. There's a reason we're not accessible to you. But understand that all that wisdom, all that knowledge, all that tactical information, all of the things that you see only show you that there's a lot of stuff that you don't see. And that's the core of the NFAC. And we would hope that you all will come out and stand the post with us, because time's up. All eyes been on Bree. And we do have transparency, but it's time for us to get some closure. That's really what this is about. We need closure. There's just no excuse why this woman was killed in March. And here we almost are in September, and we still don't have anything. That's what I want to say. Leaking of the investigation to try to tear down her image so that people won't feel so bad. They want to be able to move her from being a EMT worker to being a drug dealer. No, the mission of the NFAC is bigger than that. We've agreed to partner with Louisville. We've agreed to partner with the neighborhoods. We've agreed to partner with the activist organizations to help them with self-policing. We've agreed to help them with community development programs. You see, we've done more than just show up and walk around with guns. Because see, some people who are not as smart as the rest of us, they can only go on what they see. Their minds don't go no further than that. They really walking around. Really? You think the police just walking around too, huh? Till they get a hold of your ass. It's my morning mental. Remember, what about them kids? These children are watching everything we do. And some of y'all might not give a damn about yourself, or some of y'all are bitter because you lived your life and you didn't get anything out of it. So you don't want to leave nothing. That's why there's no inheritance anymore. That's why there's no inheritance anymore. Let me say it again. That's why there's no inheritance anymore. There used to be a time when the only thing that we were concerned with was what we was going to leave our kids. Nowadays, y'all so busy thinking about yourselves, and the kids is on their own. Not over here, not on my watch. It's not just the brothers, and it's not just the sisters. It's all of us, and it's going to take all of us to fix it. I want y'all to have a blessed day. Start making your preparations. NFAC, stand up. You already know what we got to do. State commanders, watch your email box. Everybody else, go back and listen to what I said earlier if you're still confused about where you stand. In the meantime and in between time, enjoy the rest of this day. We're living in some strange times, y'all. And just remember, at the end of the day, the children are watching you. Y'all have a blessed day. I bid you shalom. I'll see you tonight. Facts over feelings.